Hello everyone, today we're looking at one of these. This is a Motorola Traveller. Now this is just another name for a Motorola flip phone, I guess. This one was branded as a Traveller because at the time this was one of the very few handsets, if not one of the only handsets, that was dual band. When this came out back in I think this must have been about 1996, I think it was. They launched this particular one on Eplus, which is a German cellular provider, and they operated on GSM1800, obviously back in Germany, and this phone was compatible with the GSM900 as well. So they marketed this really clever because it meant that you could roam and use your cell phone pretty much everywhere. Ever in the world, apart from the Americas, obviously, because they use something else. They didn't use GSM 900 or 1800 at the time, and I don't think they even had GSM 1900 back in '96. I think that came late '97, early '98. But anyway, this is what the box looks like. The box ain't in too good a state, unfortunately. It's a bit tatty up here and got a few stains and marks and scuffs, but this is the only one I've ever seen. Out of all the collector friends I have, they all have this phone and they all have all the accessories and everything, but nobody seems to have a box one. So I got lucky with this because certainly it's like I said, the only one I've ever seen. Interesting to note though, they did have another phone out at the time, which was this Nokia, which I'm not too sure of the model, but in the UK they had this one as well, because I remember I bought this very one in the UK at the time when I was staying out here in the UK. And I think the UK version was 2140 and it was on orange. But anyway, let's take a look inside this one to see what you got when you bought one of these back in the day. It's got the serial number there as well. Motorola Traveller. So first off, you got the manual. Nice little pamphlet. Of course, this will all be in German, I guess. Yeah, because this was obviously launched in Germany. It's a German phone. A whole bunch of functions this had, and it's this is very similar to the UK version, MR601. Check out the other video about that phone. I've done a few videos about that phone. So yeah, I'm not sure you got the leather case. I do have one now. You got the phone, obviously, and what's interesting to note is I'm missing the little logo here, which is strange. But you have seen this phone before in the other videos, certainly in the best GSM brick phone. Which would you have? That phone features. You got a charger, obviously, which is what this is. This has obviously had quite a bit of the plastic come off the cable, which is why the blue inside is exposed. You can still use this in its current state because the blue bit is actually a second layer of plastic. So this still does work. It's just got the European socket on it, the plug on it rather, and conveniently they marketed this with interchangeable units like this. So you got three. You got well, I think actually with this one you only got two. With the UK one you got three. You got the European one, you got the UK one, obviously, and I'm not sure actually if you got, not with this one, but certainly I remember getting the US one, the American one as well, which is distinctly different. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. But yeah, annoyingly though, I don't have the manual for this. That's one thing I'm missing. Apart from obviously this thing here, which, well, you could call it a manual, but there is another pamphlet that came with this, which a fellow collector friend of mine has, and I don't have this in the box. So the other alternative, obviously, to this travel charger was the desktop cradle type charger, which I'm sure you're aware. You could get that as an additional extra, which they sold you. This is the battery that came with it. This is a nickel metal hydride. I'm not even sure. Yeah, this has been used clearly. So this has been used. 14th of August 1998 the guy bought this, so I guess this is the replacement battery, because certainly that looks like a thin battery, and I know these definitely did come with thicker ones. But anyway, you can obviously get the cigarette lighter for these as well. Let's fire this one up and see what it can do. I'm a bit annoyed, like I said, that this piece has come undone. Normally you have the nice little Eplus logo there, like this. But I mean, doesn't really affect the function really. This little missing bit. Let's slap a good battery on. This is a nice little extended good battery that I have. I'm hoping this has some juice in it. With a bit of luck. Oh, maybe not actually. Oh yes, it does. There we go. Nice Eplus logo there. Let's try and get a good SIM for this. Right, so we could put any SIM card in actually. I was going to go with this one, the Vodafone one. I got a couple here that I use for testing, so let's pick out one just at random. I don't remember getting this activated though. Morocco Telecom, never mind. Most of these are UK actually. Some there's one or two which are foreign as well. I was hoping for the Luxembourg one. No, this is the Belgian one actually. Let's try and slap that in, see if it'll ask for a lock code. With a bit of luck, this should just pick up service. There we go. This is roaming on UK Vodafone because the SIM card is a Belgian one. That should obviously work just fine. I'm not going to place a call with this particular SIM because I don't think it has any juice in it, any credit or any money. So let's take this guy out. In fact, let's use this one, this here. You'll notice it says Vodafone. That's just a SIM adapter. The SIM card is actually an old O2 SIM or Cellnet SIM, as some of you all might know. But anyway, neat little phone this. You got the little white button, which when you press that, you basically, it was a direct link to change the band, because nowadays everybody has smartphones, and you know, they operate on like, I don't know how many different frequencies, like 5 different bands and all that crap. Back in the day, phones only operated on one band, one frequency band. So GSM900 or GSM1800. Nowadays we got 700, 800, 850, 900. We got 1800 for GSM1800. We got 2100, which is your 3G, and we got 2500, which is your LTE. And of course, that don't include the more obscure things like the 1700s they have out in Chile or Japan. Japan has its own, it's completely different frequency bands. America's a little bit different as well. So a lot of countries have deviated from the standard. But back in the day, phones didn't really have the capability to operate on more than one band. So when this came out, it was a real marketing tool because this operated on dual band. The only snag was you had to tell it which band you wanted it. And that's what this white button was for. So you press that and it'll tell you change to 1800 band. You go select yes. Of course, I don't expect this now to pick up service because O2 in the UK is GSM900. Mainly, of course, in London there is a little bit of GSM1800 where there's a lot of densely populated areas. Well, there you go. It has picked up service on GSM1800. So, of course, we're in London, so that would make sense. Where there's densely populated areas, I think Vodafone and Cellnet, or O2 as they're known, have some GSM1800 capacity. So this is what this is using. You press that again, switches to 900, and that picks up the main network. If you checked out the other video that I did a while back about the Motorola MR601, you'll recognize this phone, or certainly the way it looks, because this is very similar. But you got a dedicated messages button, which is what this one is here. You got the thing to slide down the SIM out the bottom. You got a couple of volume keys, of course, the antenna, which is a pull-out. And this is one of the very few phones where the antenna is actually metal. This thing is metal, and this does radiate. The top bit does radiate. Unlike all the old school microtacs like the Alphas or the DPCs, which this is a British Telecom classic DPC type phone. This is obviously just a bit of plastic, really. It's a gimmick, this. So, but certainly with the GSM models, there is one or two models where actually the antenna does radiate, you know, and you can clearly see that by holding an RF monitor tool to it. I'll try and do a video about that. Actually, I do have a way to tell where the RF emanates from, whether it's down here or up here or, you know, on this bit. I'll try and do a video about that. But anyway, going through the menu then, this is pretty basic actually. You got obviously a phone book, your call related features, what's in that? Show battery meter, not much else really. What else? Restrict my phone number, call diverting, talk and fax. Not sure what that's about. Call waiting, obviously call barring, key answer only. So obviously key answer only would basically mean that if the phone was closed and you flipped the flip open, it wouldn't answer the call. What else you got? Let's have a look. You got messages. Now these were good because you could send messages on these too, but that was dependent on the SIM card. You missed a call from me. Who called me? Somebody called me. 27th of September, 1656. Who called me? Somebody called me. Oh well. So that number called me. Well, I don't know you, so let's get rid of that. Probably some insurance scam. But anyway, oh, another missed call. Who's that from? Don't know that number anyway. So if you are that number, stop calling. So yeah, so you got receive messages, outgoing messages, message editor, and this is where you would actually go in, and obviously this guy's name was Peter that I bought this phone off of in Germany, so that was his last message. So you could type in an SMS message, and this was good to go. You could send that. You got cell broadcast, which was a handy little feature which had some benefits to GSM users. They could tell you the area code of where you were and whatnot. Certainly Vodafone in the UK used that quite extensively when they had their Metro call tariffs, which obviously allowed you to call certain areas and not certain areas. You know, local areas were cheaper to call than the national areas. Nowadays, cell phone minutes are cell phone minutes. It doesn't matter whether you call your next door neighbor or whether you call, you know, interstate, you know, or national, whatever it is. So I don't think the service gets used. So let me turn that off quickly. So what else you got then? Message settings. That's pretty much it then for messages. Phone setup. Let's have a quick look inside. Adjust ringing volume. Don't really need to explain that. Ring or vibrate. This phone did vibrate. You had a choice actually. You had vibrate then ring, no vibrate or no ring or vibrate, or ring only, or vibrate only. So 4 options really, which at the time, don't laugh, but at the time this was state of the art. So you had I think 6 or 7 ringtones in this thing. Yeah, I'm going to stick with a standard one. I'm not too much of a cheesy music type kind of guy. And of course you got your phone lock. I don't know what the lock code of this is. So it requires SIM, change SIM PID 2, new security code. Of course you need the old security code, so I'm not sure what that is. Extended menus are on. Language selection, battery saving mode, keypad tones, and phone status, and that was pretty much it. Phone status doesn't give you much, just a status review really. Network selection, this is always an interesting one. You got select band, which obviously in nowadays phones, in phones nowadays, you don't ever get select band. They have all the bands active all the time, so that the phone might be hopping from one band to another while you're on a call. You wouldn't even know it. Back in the day, you had to do all this manually. Network search then, preferred networks, find new network. And also, you might not know this, but most SIM cards have preferred networks programmed in. It's just that nowadays, cell phones don't actually let you access that. So For example, if you have a contract with, say, I don't know, UK Vodafone, then maybe you wanna go out to some other country like Holland or Germany or somewhere. Well, they got a Vodafone network in Holland. They got a Dutch Vodafone. So this list would tell the phone that the preferred network in Holland would be the Vodafone Holland network, or if you went to Germany, they got a Vodafone there, or if you went to Turkey, they got a Vodafone there. And this would obviously, if you were on Vodafone in the UK and you had a contract with them, so the phone would prefer the local Vodafone, because obviously Vodafone likes Vodafone and Orange likes Orange. You know, if you're a Swiss Orange customer and you go out to France, they got an Orange network there. You know, so, and you could actually tamper with the list of preferred networks, believe it or not. And phones nowadays don't actually let you do this. So you got I think 31 slots. This has only got 3 programmed in, strangely. So you got D1 Telecom in Germany, D2 and French Bouygues Telecom, I think. Going by the codes anyway. And every country's got a 3-digit code followed by a 2-digit network code as well. So yeah, that's how they identify them, really. What else can I say about this? Not much, really. It's a pretty neat phone. I actually use an MR601 like this quite often during the week, because I'm not much of a smartphone kind of guy. I just think this whole tracking and all that nonsense is a bit beyond me. I just prefer old school, so I tend to use one of these with a good battery. The battery does last about 2 days on this, so it's not too bad, and that includes making calls anyway. So if you got any questions about one of these, drop me a comment. Really, they're neat phones. These E Plus ones, I don't think are ever locked. It's one of the very few phones that doesn't come pre-locked to E Plus. It doesn't mean to say that the later batches weren't locked. Certainly this one I've never unlocked. And it's obviously taking a UK SIM card. If you checked out last week's video about the Vodafone DigiFlip, those ones, I've never seen a locked one to Vodafone. So if you want to get an old school phone, a flip phone anyway, those are the ones to go for, really. Certainly when Motorola got clever a bit later on in the game, they started doing fancy things with locking SIM cards to phones, or phones to SIM cards, and all that crap. So it made swapping SIM cards a bit more difficult. But like I said, neat phone. So this is just a quick video really about one of these. I probably have like 5 or 6 of these now. I dug out the boxed one because I wanted to do an unboxing video. Neat little phones. Like I said, you can still use these. I keep getting asked, what phones can I use in America? Not much really in terms of it. There is a Select 6000, which looks like this, just in grey, a Select 2000 and a Select 3000. I did do videos about all 3 a while back. Check out that if you're interested. This phone will work in Europe. It'll work in Africa. It'll work in the Middle East. It'll work in the Far East. It'll work in Australia, New Zealand. I hear you, Chris. I did get your email. This will work pretty much everywhere in the world apart from the Americas and Canada. So Canada, North America, South America, and obviously everything in between. So Mexico and all those areas. This phone will not work in. This phone will just work outside of the Americas and Canada. Which is a shame, really, because it's a real neat phone. But anyway, you could still pick up one of these if you know where to look. eBay is a good place. There is a couple of other websites as well. But yeah, drop me a comment if you got any questions about this or any other phone. I'm not an expert, but like I say, I will try and help as best as I can. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.